Good afternoon, my name is Angélica Belén Villagómez López. I'm a student from the Universidad de las Fuerzas Armadas CESPE, attending the second level. This subject is Contextos de los Sujetos Educativos del Aprendizaje Humano. Okay, next we are going to talk about the unit 2, gender equity. Gender definition. Gender refers to the roles, characteristics, and opportunities defined by society that are considered appropriate for men and women. According to Guinea 2009, these factors depend on culture, socioeconomic class, and time. And specifically in the field of education, there are many gender inequalities in this field, according to UNESCO. Parity, equality, and equity. Parity is understood as a balanced participation of men and women in positions of powers and decision making in all spheres of life is an important condition, very important condition for gender equality in schooling. Equality and equity are very similar but have different concepts. Equality is based on treating all citizens equality and gender equality implies that all people have the same rights, resources, and opportunities regardless of their gender identity. Equity is value that implies justice and equal opportunities between men and women while respecting the plurality of society. The difference between gender equality and gender equity is that the former is a provision that derives from a human right, while equity is an ethical consideration that seeks to implement measures to correct the historical imbalance between the genders. Educational equality and equity. All students must have the same reach to research. Education allows access to a job, source of income, and other social and personal benefits. Training in equality should allow access to these benefits to a greater number of people, regardless of their gender, culture, or social condition. UNESCO 2002. Equality education is based on the phrase leveling the playing field. Education and equity. Students who have more needs will require more research to be on the same level as the others. It implies educating according to individual difference and needs without economical, demographic, geographic, ethical, or gender condition implementing learning. Gender equality and gender equity in education. The education. It is the process of facilitating learning or the acquisition of knowledge and the basis for the development of a country. Gender equity in education and in a learning process, it means that members of both sexes should enjoy the same rights and have the same responsibilities, and during the learning process both boys and girls must receive the same treatment and attention. Causes of the gender discrimination in education is the unfair treatment towards one of the two genders, especially towards girls. It is due to political factors, socioeconomic factors, poverty, for example, and socio-cultural factors, the macho mentality, patriarchal society, religion, among others. Okay. Stakeholders to get the gender equity. The government is the entity in charge of applying the laws in favor of education without gender discrimination. Parents must accompany during this process in an effective way. School putting exclusive teaching into practice. Teachers, teachers and students are part of this process, okay? The construction process of gender equity. This process is a social responsibility where society assigns a value to men and women without doing less to anyone, beginning by education very young on the sense of equity and equality, so that discrimination rates will improve it a lot. Unit 2, biological development and health. Okay, biological development. In this case of human beings, biological development ranges from fertilization to the period of aging. There are prenatal stage when the baby is being formed, and the infant stage, which is a time of crucial growth and development that is age, weight, and age. Prenatal Prenatal stage of development. This stage is a basis that will form the psychological futures of the human being. The brain begins development in these phases until childhood. Three stages are considered: germinal, germinal, embryonic, and fetal stage. Okay, the other is brain development before birth. It begins in third gestional week. Within it, there are two processes, molecular events and environment. These two contribute to development of the brain. Stage of growth and development in babies and children. Childhood is the first stage of development in children, no? From the prenatal period to the child's first years, in which motor, language, social, sensory, weighing skills are developing, and the other stage of development until adulthood, we can show that emotional stability, language, psychical change, physical change, among others, develop. Other is the biology of child development and learning. During this biological process, the brain develops according to the stimulation of the environment through dynamic interaction with its experience, that is, genes environmental factors simultaneously influence development process. Okay. The biology of development in adolescence. Adolescence is a period of transition from childhood to adulthood between 10 and 20 years of age. It begins with the experimentation of physical change, which are different in men and women. Approach now as sexual maturation that depends on genetic factor and environmental. As for the development of the brain, it is also manifests itself, which is why the behavior change in this period. How health affect a child and adolescent school performs? Uh, Health is a state of well-being or balance that we can be sensed at subjective or objective level. A good general state of health of children positively affects educational performance and academic success, while the presence of diseases increases the risk early school leveling. For example, factors such as poor sleep, will affect the health and performance of the students. Likewise, a poor diet, lack of physical activity, obesity, asthma, or chronic diseases have great consequences on school performance. This has been my presentation. Thank you so much.